Hey, hi folks. How you doing? Vic, Whiskey Minister here again. The end of another week, the end of another weekend, and the end of another World Cup. I wonder if you've watched the game today. I really enjoyed it. Bit boring in the first half, but boy, once France got going, it was a fantastic game. And what about that extra time? Anyway, that's the World Cup over. But my Advent calendar's not over. It is day 18 of my drama day in December, working my way through these fantastic whiskies in this Advent calendar that I got from Shelley and the guys down at the Really Good Whiskey Company. Having a great time going through it, having my drama day in the evening. I've just missed one day, and that was for another football match, but I caught back up. So really enjoying this. Got my old Christmas jumper on today. It was the last church service of the year before Christmas, so it was Christmas jumper day. I've got my snowman on with my little carrot nose and his little scarf. I don't know if you can see his scarf there. So yes, so I'm feeling pretty festive, and time to have another wee dram. And it's a dram that's bringing back more memories. If you saw me last night, man, the memories were flying back. That was a great dram. Memories of great times. And that's what whiskey does to you. I think you remember where you had this dram, you remember who you were drinking it with, and you can have some great memories with your whiskies. Anyway, this is bringing back great memories, because what I've got tonight is a Diluin. And of course, I was the operations manager up there for 3 or 4 years at the start of this century. I think it was 2001 to 2004, but it was that long ago. I'm kind of having trouble to remember. But I've got a couple of Diluins up on the top shelf here that were distilled when I was the operations manager, so they're for keeps. This is you don't see a lot of Diluin about. You get the Diageo's Flora and Fauna, which, by the way, if you haven't got one, you got to get that. The Diluin. The Diageo Flora and Fauna Diluin is one of the most underrated drams. I see it on Facebook all the time, people saying how fantastic it is. If you haven't got it, you need to get it. But there's not a lot of Diluin around. Now, this is an interesting one. That Flora and Fauna is sherry casks. Quite a bold, strong whiskey. But this one, this is different. This is a 12-year-old. It's had almost the first 11 years of its life in 4 refill ex-bourbon hoggies. And then it was finished for 14 months in barrique casks, wine casks that had held Sauterne wine. So a really sweet dessert wine. Now, I like Glenmorangie Nectador, which is the original Glenmorangie, then finished in the Sauterne casks. So I like that style of whiskey. So this is going to be quite interesting. Murray McDavid, I've said that before, we've had a couple of Murray McDavids in here, doing some fantastic stuff, doing lots of finishes, lots of different types of maturation, using lots of different casks, and doing some great stuff. So I'm really interested in this. 1, because it's an old site of mine, and 2, because it's quite an interesting finish. So let's have a wee look at this Diluin, distilled in 2009. It's a 12-year-old. And it's, wow, that's a beautiful colour. It's almost yellow. It's kind of light, goldeny colour, almost a yellowish tinge when you put it in the glass. That's a gorgeous colour. Not like the Flora and Fauna at all. That's causing you different casks, going to give you different colour profile. And it, wow, kind of smells fruity already before I even put it up to my nose. So let's... Oh, that is very light for a Diluin. I can smell the sort of sweet wine influence coming from the Sauternes. And a bit of sort of a difficult kind of vegetative kind of smell. Don't know, soily, that kind of a sort of musty smell, but in a good way. But that's lovely. It's 50%, so it's quite strong in alcohol. But it doesn't really smell like a diluent. Oh, man, I love that colour. Anyway, Slange, well done, Argentina. I wasn't so sure. I was kind of hoping for a France victory. Myself and Jay were watching it. Jay was actually up this morning. The game kicked off at 2 o'clock in the morning, Canberra time. So he was looking pretty tired when we were sitting watching it together. So he's away to his bed. He's not very happy, as he's not an Argentina fan. But hey, well done to them. So let's have a wee taste of this 12-year-old diluent. Oh, that's lovely. That is really nice. It's got a lovely bold mouthfeel. It's quite thick in the mouth. And it's quite rich, but it's got a fruity sweetness, really sweet on the finish, that I think must be coming from that Sauterne cask finish. Oh, that is lovely. It almost smells a little bit sherry-ish, but I know it's not, because there's not been sherry cask anywhere near it. But that, that kind of sort of woody note that comes from sherry casks. Oh, that's a different dram. That's a different diluent. That's a beautiful sweet finish. Oh, I really like that. But then you guys would say, well, you would like that, Vic, because you used to be the operations manager there. And I've got some fantastic memories. Oh, diluent, we've done some great things up there. I worked under a great manager. You Diageo guys will remember that if you're non-Diageo, this will mean nothing to you. But I worked under a great guy called Steve McGingle. Really enjoyed working for Steve. He was a great boss. And I worked in the same office, you ex-Diageo guys remember this, as Unky Dunky, I used to call him, and Uncle Donald. So Duncan Kellick, Donald Sterling, used to work with those guys. They were a great bunch. I really enjoyed my time up at Diluent. So, Slange, have another wee sip. Lovely mouthfeel. Very bold, very rich. Bit woody, but surprisingly sweet at the end. Must be the Sauterne cask finish. So that was the Murray McDavid Diluent 2009 12-year-old. 14 months it's finished in those Sauterne casks. The ex-bourbon hoggies before that, and a nice 50% ABV. So I enjoyed that dram. I hope you've had a nice dram this weekend, or if you've not, I hope you enjoy it tonight. Remember, guys and gals, please be responsible where you're dramming. Enjoy what you're dramming, but be sensible. And thanks for joining. Thanks for the comments. And I will see you all tomorrow night. We're moving into our last week. We've got 7 to go. 1 week's worth left to go off my really good whiskey advent calendar. So looking forward to sharing that with you all next week. So hope you've had a great weekend. Hope you have a superb week. And I will see you tomorrow night. Goodbye, folks. Have a good one.